Order. Move to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have been satisfied by forwarding news release to Asbury Park Press on December 12, 2013, stating that a regular meeting of the ToCN Meeting Committee would be held on May 14, 2014, 7:30 p.m. at Town Hall. Notice requirements have been posted on Township Bulletin Board. Copy is on file in the office of the Township Clerk.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatzel.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Engel.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Orgo.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Here.
Mayor McNabb.
Present. Approval of the minutes from the April 30, 2014 meeting. Don't have them. I thought it was a
No, you didn't.
All right, we'll carry that on over to our next meeting. The second item is an announcement. The Monmouth County Board of Chosen Freeholders will conduct their regular meeting at our Colts Neck Courthouse next Thursday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. Open to the public, of course. Everybody's welcome to attend. The third item on our agenda this evening is pretty special. And it's a mayor's proclamation honoring Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, proud member of the Bar of the State of New Jersey. And I'd like to welcome her up and read the proclamation for her.
She came here to.
And here too.
I have a big mouth.
Oh, can I take a picture?
Yes.
So let me read this and then we'll take a couple pictures, all right? So this is the mayor's proclamation honoring you, and it reads as follows. Whereas on March 11, 2014, Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, celebrated her 100th year birthday. And whereas Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, has led an extraordinary life of high achievement, perseverance, distinction, courage, and civic mindedness. And whereas Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, graduated from Brooklyn Law School in 1936 and is believed to be among the first women to obtain a law degree. And whereas Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, won her first case against Ward Baking Company that resulted in a, remember that one?
Yeah.
That resulted in a $45 judgment for her client.
But wait a minute, I don't know if I earned that $45 judgment at the time, because my uncle was a judge. Until today, I don't know if I received it on my merit or because he spoke to me.
No, not at all. And whereas Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, may be among the oldest living attorneys in the United States today, and again, a proud member of the Bar of the State of New Jersey. Now therefore, I, Russell McNabb, Mayor of the Township of Colts Neck, New Jersey, along with all members of the Township Committee, do hereby proclaim that March 11th will be known as Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo Day within the Township of Colts Neck, and share the pride of all Colts Neck residents in honoring Ms. Elena Canepa Sanfilippo, Esquire, on an extraordinary life well lived. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you all for honoring me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give her a birthday present, tell her she doesn't have to stay.
Really happy to go on her.
Thank you.
They have another meeting with them.
If we can go, we go with you.
We have more meetings over there. Come on, ladies, gotta get up. They have to have their real meeting now. That's it. Sit down. That's what lawyers are supposed to do, is order the others around it, right? This is some honor. As your daughter, I'm very honored.
Thank you.
She really, thank you so much for going through what you're going.
Okay.
Can make things complicated.
No problem.
Okay, we're ready. Hold that.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Very much for the honor that you bestowed on me. Always remember, I don't have many years to go, but every day I'll think of you.
Thank you. Okay. Number 4 on the agenda this evening is ordinance 2014-6. This is an ordinance of the Township of Colts Neck in the County of Monmouth in the state of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 102, Article 10, Section 102-112, entitled D Light Industrial Zone, and retitling and rezoning Section 102-112 as D Distillery and Bottling Plant District. This is a second reading by title. Anybody may recall that was here at our last meeting. There's a couple of things that we had to address after last meeting. One was a legal issue, and that we clarified in the ordinance that restaurants associated with a microbrewery must operate in accordance with state and federal law. There is a somewhat recent statute that was passed regulating microbreweries, so we want to make sure that our ordinance is consistent with that. And at the request of the Lairds, we had included a provision in the new ordinance for the use of the building on the property as a museum, and we just expanded the use to allow it to be open to the general public for educational stores. Those were the two changes made since the last meeting. Any comments from the committee on that?
No comments.
I'm going to open the public hearing on this. Any questions or comments from the public on this particular order? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for getting that, because it's been a while in trying to get that as a museum, and you should be proud that you did that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great addition. I think.
It's the history of Coltsnet.
Yes.
You know, are we sure they're gonna do it?
Yeah, she's pretty sure she's going to.
Last year, they weren't too sure.
For many years they've been not sure.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna do the 2 more.
Lisa Laird was very much interested in doing the museum. So, hopefully we'll get word out when they get that together. I'm sure it's not going to be an overnight thing, but we'll get word out. And you're right, it's the history of the town. So it should be pretty neat addition to the town. Yes,
I also appreciate them staying since 1600. My God, that's a long time.
Well, that's what people say when they ask why we have this one particular zone for them, and I tell people, well, they were here a long time before we were, so they get a little bit of indulgence.
Lang was here, man.
Yes,
Yes, I was here, and they had the first distillery.
That was before, it was called.
Still be though.
That something.
Okay, any other comments from the public on this particular ordinance? All right, kids. Any other comments on this particular ordinance from the public? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing on this. I'll take a motion.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatz?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Engel?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Margot?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNabb?
Yes. Number 5 is ordinance 2014-10. This is an ordinance of the Township of Colts Neck in the County of Monmouth, the state of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 222, Article 1, Section 36, Schedule 13, entitled Left Turn Prohibitions. This is also a second reading by title. And again, for those of you that have been here, this deals with our new Buddy's restaurant that may open someday on Route 537. And this is a requirement that, at least temporarily, we prohibit left turns out of the easternmost driveway of that particular westernmost driveway until such time as the Route 34, 537 improvements are completed, whenever that may be. That's all this ordinance does. Any comments from the committee on this one?
The county may still.
Yes, the county. Any comments from the committee on this? Open this one to the public. Any comments from the public on this particular one? I see no comments from the public. I'll close the public hearing. I'll take a motion on this one.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Schatz?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Engel?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Margot?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNabb?
Yes. Number 6 this evening is ordinance 2014-11. This is an ordinance amending and revising Chapter 31-2, Police Department Appropriate Authority of the Code of the Township of Colts Neck. This is also a second reading by title. And any comments from the committee on this one? This is also open to a public hearing. Any comments from the public on this particular ordinance? Seeing no comments, I'll close the public hearing. Take a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatzel?
Yes.
Committee Man Engel?
Yes.
Committee Man Orgo?
Yes.
Committee Man Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNamara?
Yes. Number 7 this evening is capital ordinance 2014-12. This is a capital ordinance providing for various capital improvements and the purchase of various capital equipment and appropriating $296,100 therefore, authorized in and by the Township of Colts Neck in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey. This is also a second reading by title, and again, for those of you who are here, that were here for budget time and also for the last meeting, this is a capital budget ordinance dealing with a number of things that we approved during the budget session, including some road improvements, some building improvements, purchase of police vehicles, some municipal court improvements, purchase of some police equipment, recreation and park improvements, purchase of some computers, turnout gear for the first aid squad, four-wheel drive vehicle for Department of Public Works, some public works equipment improvement, and a public works GPS system. And I'll take any comments from the committee on this one. Open it to the public. Any comments from the public on this particular ordinance? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatzel?
Yes.
Committee Man Engel?
Yes.
Committee Man Orgo?
Yes.
Committee Man Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNamara?
Yes. Number 8 on the agenda this evening is ordinance 2014-13. This is an ordinance entitled the 2014 Salary Ordinance of the Township of Colts Neck. This is also a second reading by title, and again, this has been discussed a number of times. It provides for 2% increases for full-timers, no increase for part-timers, and this ordinance simply memorializes the increase in those salaries as the case may be. Any comments from the committee on this one? I'll open public hearing on this. Any comments from the residents on this particular ordinance? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Take a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatzel?
Yes.
Committee Man Engel?
Yes.
Committee Man Orgo?
Yes.
Committee Man Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNamara?
Yes. Number 9 is Resolution 2014-65. This is a resolution authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement with the Monmouth County Regional Health Commission relative to communicable disease control and other specialized health services. It is in the amount of $2,508.
Sure, I'd be happy to talk about it. We had, there were some requirements from the state that each town needs to have either an employee or an agreement to cover certain services like epidemiology and some health education. We had for a while access to somebody that worked for the state. That position is no longer there, so now we're entering into agreement with the Monmouth County Regional Health Commission.
Any comments from the committee on that one?
So the state mandate that we have to pay for?
Correct.
Any comments from the committee? Take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Schatzel?
Yes.
Committee Man Engel?
Yes.
Committee Man Orgo?
Yes.
Committee Man Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNamara?
Yes. Administrative report tonight, Bob.
Just two quick things. Hard to believe a year's rolled around, but our good friends at the Mensa Society have requested the use of our food park on June 7th, and because they do want to have beer and wine at their park, only the township really can approve that. I recommend you approve it, conditioned upon them providing, which I know they will, appropriate insurance protection prior to the event.
And just for the public's benefit, they've been here for a number of years in the past, no problems, correct?
Correct.
And another year, they've yet to ask a member of the township committee to be a member of their organization.
Another year's gone by without anybody in this room, as far as I know.
It's true, they're out there.
You have to qualify.
Hmm?
You have to qualify.
I know, that's
Chances are first. At any rate,
Take a roll call on that, or
all in favor?
hold on.
Motion to approve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, so carried. And just one other thing there, we did send out first-class letter to anybody here that happens to live in District 7. District 7 votes in Cedar Drive School and only District 7. We are changing their voting location. It's a permanent change. Starting at the primary in a couple of weeks, they will now vote at Fire Company number 1.
That is for security reasons.
Yeah, security reasons, power goes off, this generator,
Number one, there's a couple of valid reasons to do it. And, again, I don't know if anybody lives in that district, but we did mail out letters to everybody, first class letters. So just be aware of that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Vouchers this week, Mike?
We do have vouchers, I went through the vouchers, they total $5,402,616.78 on the voucher list. And as is often the case, the predominant amount of that is transfers to the county and to, I don't think it's a school board this time, but it's all, we collect the taxes and pass it on to the other taxing entities. One addition, Mayor, for the list, it was an add-on for the recreation department, $125 reimbursement or payment rather to Joanne Dappeldecker for, she was the Easter Craft Supervisor pursuant to a contract that she entered into with the town. It's a one-time $125 payment. It is not on the voucher list. I would ask that we would amend that. I think I have to do that by law. We can amend that to the voucher list.
Approved as amended.
Or approved as amended. Other than that, I would ask for approval of the vouchers as outlined.
Any comments from the committee? Take a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Shackle?
Yes, same team then.
Monday, Committeeman Engel?
Yes.
Committeeman Orgo?
Yes.
Committeeman Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McEnroe?
Yes.
And if you don't mind, I'm just going to pass that back. I kept the voucher on the 125 because I wanted to make sure I remembered to add that.
We'll take care of it.
All right, we'll move on to committee reports. Tommy, anything this evening?
We had plenty of work, Mike can discuss that. I did not attend the CNBA meeting today. Shade Tree is having a problem on what their job is now. Because plans come in and nobody knows what they're doing. So I had to talk with Glenn and they're going to send a letter so that they have an idea if we need to, then we're going to bring the landscape architect there to take care of that problem. Hopefully we can do it just with a letter that, you know, if they need more plants here or they need more plants here, we change it from something different that the planning board did. So that's that. Wildlife meets next Tuesday night here at 7 p.m.
If you're interested in the deer issue, please attend. That's we're discussing
A new ordinance.
an amendment to the discharge ordinance dealing with the deer. So if you're interested or know anybody that's interested, we'd certainly like to have you express your opinions at the committee meeting rather than having it all over again at a regular township committee. So let's try to get it right the first time at the committee meeting and see if we can accommodate everybody the best we can before we actually introduce the ordinance. So again, spread the word. Go ahead.
Would be in this building?
Right here in this room,
Okay,
7 o'clock next Tuesday.
okay.
This coming Tuesday, however you're referring to.
It should be on the calendar, on the township, but on the township. But yes, please get the word out for those that are interested, and I know there's a bunch of folks that are, let them know. Mike?
Are you getting a call?
I will.
Okay. Then I'll just take planning board. The planning board agenda has been relatively light for all the economic reasons we're all well aware of. I think that we finally got the Huddy's application wrapped up, so those poor folks can move forward and try and open their restaurant. They've had the wrestling match with the county, as you all know. But one of the interesting things that came up in that, and Committee Morgan raised, it is the Shade Tree Commission, without intent, but just by happenstance, sometimes runs a contrary desire as to what the planning department wants. And we ran into that with Honey's in particular, I don't want to try to pick them out, but Shade Tree Commission wanted trees in certain spots, and the planning department felt that was not the right place for them. And then it kind of segued into a conversation about how environmental works into all of this, and whether Shade Tree ought to be, should Shade Tree be part of environmental, should Shade Tree be something separate, should Shade Tree, weigh in separately, be part of planning. So it's just, they've gotten to be so intertwined that they trip over themselves. The point being, somebody has to take control of it here because it caused a delay really in applications before the planning board, because there's two different advisory groups that are giving different pieces of advice. So we have to get our arms around that. I think at some point in time, I'm not sure the right way to do it. And maybe it's no longer a planning issue for part of what they consider, or maybe maybe Shade Tree doesn't weigh in on, things other than certain size subdivisions or, something else. I'm not sure how that, what the right way to go is, but,
The chair people from this committee to meet.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Better way forward.
And maybe redefine the mission, because I think that that seems to be part of the problem. And it was, I know that the applicants are frustrated, and it looks silly when we have letters that say different things from our saying that. So, but that was that. And we did pass we cleaned up, I think Committeeman Orgo and I feel like it's Groundhog Day, because we hear things here and then we hear things at the boards we sit on. We finally got that zoning board issue that we can only renew an approval for 3 years, and then it's going to end. So that housekeeping issue is done as well.
One more thing. I will give, Shade Tree Commission has been working nights, and they started up on a corner here on Heritage and Cedar Drive, and they've been trimming all the way around, and they're gonna work their way cleaning it all up. Nighttime, they come out here for a couple hours a night, and they clean it up, trimming it,
As they were out there, actually played 7.
Yeah, big project for them. They only have a few people doing it, if anybody wants to.
Well, every night they get volunteers, who can work this night, and they're trying to get all the way around.
Environmental Commission on Earth Day, police the whole place, pick up all these litters, so why your volunteers don't get the recognition that they deserve.
I agree. We don't want to discourage you. I tell you, we gotta figure out a way to find the mission and maybe repurpose.
Jeff?
Nothing really to report from the committees that I sit on. However, I will be taking advantage of the summer months right around the corner, since our meetings tend to be a little bit lighter, and revisiting the website. So I'd like to just take an annual snapshot of the website, look at the taxonomy, look at the structure, everything soup to nuts, just to make sure that the content's not only accurate, but we've gotten some feedback over the last year or so from some residents. I'll be soliciting some feedback from some residents so that we can make sure that we're being as transparent as possible and getting everything on the website.
Did you get metrics from that?
We did.
Just to share that.
What about historical? We should have you fun this weekend?
You know what? Community chats will bring that up.
So our Historical Preservation Committee that has their spring reception, which they do every year to, really it's a jump off for their house tour later in the year, which I believe is October. Fair Committee still working strong, planning for our upcoming fair. And Mayor and I had a chance to attend a community church event that I always want to speak on. Sure, I'd be happy to. They really exciting, anything with any of our organizations, especially our 3 churches, and they had an opportunity to invite us to a mortgage burning celebration, which was nicely done, and we had a chance actually to sit through the service. All the pastors I enjoyed listening to and hearing them preach, including Pastor Chris Durkin, and for this one, and it was kind of nice for my first time to see a mortgage burn before our eyes, so it gave me hope in my life.
Only one of the churches, they get to burn all their mortgages.
Yes, exactly. So that was a pleasure as always. That's it.
An act of celebration, not defiance.
Yes.
So this morning I met with school superintendent, some members of the school board, and some representatives of emergency services. This is a second in a series of meetings that we've put together and intend to conduct on a quarterly basis. And it's a way to keep good lines of communication open between the township committee, the Board of Education, superintendent, and our emergency services, especially as it relates to security issues at the schools. And we're actively working on a number of things on a municipal level with our emergency services and the Board of Education to enhance security at our schools. For good reason, we're not going to discuss those, and most of them I don't even know about. But suffice it to say, we were very active in working in conjunction with the school board in making sure that our schools are the safest they can be. COA, Council on Affordable Housing, we have, at least preliminarily, some relatively good news. Our obligation from the third round regulations, at least in their early stages, is very modest. We have an obligation for 5 rehabs and for 3 new affordable housing units. As compared to some other municipalities, which total in the hundreds, our obligation is really, really modest. Our expectation is that will change, and since it can't go down very much more, probably go back the other way. But we don't know that. But these regs were just introduced. I think they're not to be adopted until early part of next year. Yeah, February of next year. So I think there's a lot of public comment and revisions to be made, and we'll keep you updated as to where we stand, because it does affect us. It does affect everybody, really. In the interim, we're working with some groups to try to bring some housing into the town that would be classified as affordable, mostly for developmentally disabled folks. And we're hoping that we could accommodate some people that are developmentally disabled in our town that could really use a place to live, especially one as nice as Colts Neck. They are a very, very, very underserved population. And if you know any families with developmentally disabled children or siblings, as adults, it is very difficult to find places for them to stay, certainly in close proximity to where they live. So we're doing our best to accommodate some of that need to the best that we can, understanding that Colts Neck is not the cheapest place to potentially buy, but there may be some opportunity for them, and we're hoping that we can do something. That is it for me. All right, that's it for me. We'll open the meeting to comments from the public. Anybody have anything this evening? Blaine?
Yes, I have one good news from Clean Communities. Mr. and Mrs. Wilkes want to adopt Hayers Mill Road from 537 all the way over Conover Road. We will have to provide signs because they're adopting, so we're not paying them. So I'm getting the paperwork ready for the state, and that'll be good. The second thing I'd like to make a comment on, years ago, and I don't know if this is still true, is the Shade Tree Committee a committee now, or is it a commission?
I believe it's still a commission.
I made this one.
It's still a commission. Yeah,
It's
I think
still-
a commission.
I could have said the committee, but I'd be wrong.
No, the only reason I was asking you about that was because there were certain requirements for them to become a commission, because if they're a commission, they can write law. Is that not correct, Mr. Bennett?
I have to check.
I don't know.
Years ago, they used to be able to.
They did.
When they
But I
were
don't
a
know about that.
commission,
I just
right.
don't know.
I don't know the answer to that. It's very much more.
As a township commission, I'm not sure that the right law, they can affect ordinances, but I guess.
Well, let's see.
Well, ordinance is an ordinance.
Ms. Wilcox?
In that same vein, is there any thought that maybe we should combine some of these committees, commissions,
Well,
et cetera, and stop this yin-yang situation?
yeah, that's what maybe Michelle and Committeeman Engel we're talking about. So we'll have to meet and put everybody in the room and see perhaps whether something along those lines can be accomplished and make them more effective.
Sometimes small is better.
I don't disagree. Anybody else this evening? All right, see no further comments from the public. Resolution 2014-66. This will be a motion to go into executive session. We do not anticipate coming back into public session this evening. Any comments from the committee? Take a motion to approve. So moved. Second. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Chancel? Yes. Councilman Engel?
Yes.
Councilman Orgo?
Yes.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor McNamara?
Yes, thanks everybody for coming this evening.
Okay, I read them.
Vision.
Is that 30 bucks?